Just answering questions with WAPTech. Normally these videos are named that because I'm responding to people saying something, but framing it as a question so they can avoid proving what they say. But also it's just me responding to people's comments. A video I did recently about a person claiming to create something like a perpetual motion machine, a car that runs on water. The video's basic synopsis is that people like to assume that anyone making an assertion that's too good to be true, that they really wish was true, that they can't possibly be lying, even though obviously anyone can lie and you should assume that that's possible. The video was about a person not doing the obvious thing a person would do if they discovered an unlimited energy source, which is if you believe that if you make an unlimited energy source, you're going to be killed immediately, just anonymously dump the design and patent and everything to the public domain and make it to where killing you will do nothing and you'll save the world. Or just tell everybody you did it and give it away anyway, because then there's no point in shooting you. Everyone has the plans. Anything that can be given away as a set of plans that would solve the world's problems is impossible to stop. It really isn't going to go away. And that's it. And the individual I'm talking about had spent years and years avoiding proving something worked or showing how it worked at all. And then when someone, after the person died, when someone got a hold of the equipment and could check it, found out it was a conventional piece of equipment that had been patented years and years before and did not do what they said. They lied. You just took something I'd held for 20 years and obliviated it. Now, I pronounce words badly, so we'll just say obliterated. I'm pronouncing it wrong. I know I am, so I'm just going to use another word. You destroyed something I believed for 20 years, apparently. In under 15 minutes, right in front of me, all while I helplessly watched on. I can't do it right now, so I owe you 1 plus, or X. Thank you. Occasionally I do a video that makes a person literally tell me, you just made a bunch of problems I had go away, or you've removed my ignorance, that sort of thing. As I say, trolling on the internet is a sign that ignorance is being removed from a person and they're realizing they've been lied to by reality or a specific group. I want to point out that people who claim to be outing energy memes or saving the world by doing something like, some whistleblowing or whatever, are often trumpeted by people who claim to be religious or political or ideologically a specific type. And to hell with any results. And again, if I discover a way to make water accidentally do fusion reactions, I'm not going to keep it hidden or hide how to do it. I'm going to send it to every science geek I know of and tell them, make a video showing how this works. Don't tell anybody what it is. And let it fly under the radar so that people realize, hey, we can get power from this. Because eventually we're going to find out some silly, simple thing, because water is one of the most plentiful materials on the planet. That some simple reaction, like causing really tiny amounts of fusion reactions in water and having it absorbed, would release the hydrogen and let us burn it at will. That would be the most obvious way. That's not what happened here. There isn't any water-powered car. There isn't any miracle carburetor like that either. I've already done videos of those. And occasionally I get responses like this. Most of the time it's people resisting the fact that they've been lied to and have swallowed that hook. But sometimes I get people like this who say thank you, and I appreciate it. And it happens more often than a lot of people realize. I don't normally do a video spending 4 minutes acknowledging it, because usually it draws more of the opposite people. I want to point out on my channel, I've been told, let's say half a dozen times, something like this, including people saying, thank you for preventing me from wanting to kill myself. I've stopped people from committing suicide by accident or on purpose. The point is, it only takes one of these people to make me ignore a million haters. So if you're a hater, next we get someone making apparently an assertion or a claim about the Ohio train accident under a video about it. It was implemented to clear rules concerning residual dioxins in the environment, to get people out of their homes and off their properties, acreage bought on the cheap, and then it doesn't specify whether it was bought before cheap and now someone's trying to grab it or whatever. The idea of retroactively creating a conspiracy theory to explain some event you see in the news so that it has a somehow a rational explanation that always leads back to evildoers doing evil. It's all planned versus a railroad company's collusion with other railroad companies in a conspiracy to remove safety rules that would have prevented this. One of these is right there staring in your face with a shit ton of evidence behind it, and it points all the way up to the president, at least only partially. I mean, it really isn't the president's fault necessarily. But not being willing to acknowledge or not concentrating on, hey, maybe we should obsess on the fact that that's what really caused this. And we now are finding out about other incidents that have been kind of covered up or brushed into the under the rug or whatever. And this has been going on for a while. This is just the one that made the news. This is not a sign of some conspiracy involving anything other than what I just mentioned. Trying to make this about land grabs in Ohio or not, I can't interpret it because the person's posting this isn't using extremely clear grammar and explaining themselves. In text mode, when we type things, we leave a lot of ambiguity behind, and it makes it really, really hard to make sure that I'm getting the right interpretation. So if I'm misinterpreting you, that's fine. But if you're saying this is a faked accident, there is no reason for that. You could say that this was essentially bound to happen because of them removing the rules, and maybe you're talking about the EPA looking the other way or something. I can't tell exactly what you're saying, so let's tear it apart only a little bit. If you're saying it's caused by the railroad companies removing the rules, yeah. I mean, disasters or planned accidents happen. I understand. Clear rules concerning residual dioxins in the environment, it was implemented. You're making it sound like this was done on purpose by some evildoers, but it wasn't the people who actually did the evil. Basically, it sounds, I don't know if you're telling me this right, but it sounds like you're trying to exonerate the evildoers in the railroad industry. Remember, the corporations running the railroad aren't the railroaders. They're not the rail runners. They're not the people. They're the money. And money doesn't give a shit about you and me. Next comment from the same person, but about the previous one. Is it really hard to believe there's more than one way to turn a piston? Again, after the person died and someone could get a good look at the piece of equipment, it was found out that he was lying the entire time. And this chronically happens anytime anybody like me gets near any one of these miracle inventions and finds out that it's just someone continually, chronically, begging for donations from supposed investors, bilking the public and taking money away from, in some cases, little old ladies and a bunch of do-gooders who could do much more good if they didn't give it to somebody who was a stinking thief. But yeah, there's more than one way to turn a piston. You know I'm aware of these things. Also, to not have a piston, like electric cars, or hundreds of other things we could talk about. Hasn't it become rather obvious that once a connected corporation has so thoroughly cornered the market, which one? You're talking about OPEC or something? And goes all in on their investment, that entity may take issue with other products, particularly concerning one so contrarian to the other, which has long backed the U.S. petrodollar. They only attempt to hold on all the more tighter. This doesn't change the fact that the example you're putting this comment under was found to lie. He was dead-ass guilty. And he kept poo-pooing scientists that explained really simple ways to just quick check, sanity check, whether or not something can work. It is possible to make a tub of water produce more energy than you put in some cases. If it's pure water or salt water or whatever, you might be able to do that. And if you could accidentally stumble upon, this is probably how it'll happen, a method by which you'd feed in some special energy signal or material or chemical that would cause a container of water to continually produce a sustainable, safe fusion reaction on an incredibly small basis that would keep liberating hydrogen so you could just use it to run your car on. That is a completely, easily double-checked thing. Some people are claiming something similar and could be tested. And when you run into a scientist, a fake scientist or otherwise, anybody who refuses to let you determine whether or not they're full of shit, they are. Your argument here about connected corporations and whatever, am I going to begrudgingly say resisting all the way that large corporations do terrible things so they can stay in power. We have an example in Ohio. That's the result, not the intent. There's no intent behind that. That's just a natural consequence of doing business that way, refusing to let testing and maintenance work be done because you're trying to make another nickel. I want to point out one of the things I have to say in defense of the railroad industry. It has become really hard for them to make money. Even though they're part of the infrastructure the U.S. government depends on, and you and I do, it is not propped up enough by the U.S. government. It was. You might want to look up, yes, it was both parties that decided to defund the railroad industry when we rely on it heavily. We all bear part of the blame for electing assholes that allowed that to happen. It was expedient. You know it was. Then the thing is, the person says, don't dare believe anything I have to say. Then he brings up Joe Biden, beholden to other countries, etc. What the fuck has this got to do with something that has been a problem for several decades, including during Obama and Trump? And I'm talking about all of it. And before that, if you want to involve the oil industry and the automotive industry. The automotive industry was directly responsible for removing light rail from streets because it competed with cars, literally for space and for money. That happened. The destruction of the electric car story talks mostly about electric rail as the basis for it, so it's really the only valid part. What part of this has anything to do with Joe Biden? Why are you dragging this in? This doesn't make sense. He's beholden. The power of his position neutered. His goals and literal will has long back subverted by the interests or directive of another government or many others. Joe is trying to help USA. We of the individual states, we should just stay at home, reserve all his energies and quit the effort and simply remain at constant idle. And I'm not exactly sure where you're going with this because the grammar is hard to understand. So I could assume the best. Although you say that you dare me to believe anything you have to say. When you go off on a tangent about the president when he's not responsible for this at all, I mean, I don't see any sign of it. Oh, wait a minute, maybe there is. Like I said, both sides politically have sucked the teat of big oil and the train industry and also have bitten the hand that fed them at times. It's almost like they don't have any beholden to anybody, calling him Sleepy Joe and Sneaky Joe. And Trump is a New York City land baron tycoon that did dirty deals, as you have to in New York, who kept doing it while being president, which is overtly illegal. We can't talk about that? Why fixate on Joe Biden concerning derailment or faking an automobile running on air? But anyway, to the first person who said 20 years of your apparent belief or what you hold true being maybe destroyed by me and thanking me for it. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't. I want them to understand who hurt them in the first place. Everybody who's been misdirected off a cliff and has that last second to grab the edge and come back up should be allowed to come to the top and walk away from it. That's all I'm here for. Because it's happened to me and everybody else. We've all been lied to. Oh God, we've been lied to. And yes, I did a video about how all the people talking about the end of the world due to global warming actually did lie at one point and still do sometimes because some of you keep reposting the same meme that's been wrong. Doesn't change that we still need to fix things. So let's work on what fixes things. But I don't think blaming Joe Biden is going to do anything, nor Trump at this point. We're stuck with this world. Let's fix it. I don't know how. Tell me how to fix it. This didn't tell me anything. And to this person, you posted to like this before. There are a couple of people like this, regularly post on the channel like this. Let's find solutions instead of memeing about stuff that makes us self feel better, including me. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.